Today we're going to be talking about scale drawing. So this will be lesson 7.5 for math or lesson 12.5 for advanced math. So a scale drawing is a proportional two-dimensional drawing of an object. A scale model is a proportional three-dimensional model of an object. The measurements in scale drawings and models are proportional to the measurements of the actual object. The scale gives the ratio that compares the measurements of the drawing or model with the actual measurements. So all parts of the drawing or the model have to grow by the same proportion or the same factor. So here we can see that we can write it as a fraction or as a ratio. 1 inch would be 10 miles in this scale. So here we see it gives us a map and it says that using the scale, 1 centimeter is 50 miles. What is the actual distance between Traverse City and Marquette? So we see here that Traverse City and Marquette. So we would measure these two items with a ruler and we'd set up a proportion. So we know that the scale is 1 centimeter to 50 miles. When we measure the distance between these two towns or two cities in the state, we find that it is 3.5 centimeters apart on our map. So how many miles away is that? So we can use that cross products or butterfly method to help us solve. So we're going to replace the question mark with a variable. Any variable you like, I'm going to use an x. So 1 times x is 1x. 50 times 3.5. So we could then multiply that 50 by 3.5 to find the distance between them. So here we could see that these are approximately 175 miles apart. So the liquid outer core of Earth is 2,300 kilometers thick. A scale model of the layers of Earth has a scale of 1 inches to 500 kilometers. How thick is the liquid core of the model? So here we could set this one up by saying 1 inch to 500 kilometers is like how many inches to 2,300 kilometers? So again, we could cross multiply and divide. So 500 times x, 1 times 2,300, and divide by 500 on both sides to find that x is 4.6 inches. Now go ahead and use this information to help you with number 2. Here you see that I have set up the proportion 1 inch to 500 kilometers is how many inches to 2,900 kilometers. Again, we cross multiply 500 times x and 1 times 2,900. We can divide both sides by the coefficient in front of the variable to find that x is 5.8 inches. A scale could be written without units when the units are the same. A scale without units is called a scale factor. So when we're comparing two values with the same units. So a drawing has a scale of 1 millimeter to 20 centimeters. What is the scale factor of the drawing? So we need to get them to have the same units. So we're going to start out by writing our scale 1 millimeter to 20 centimeters. Since there are 10 millimeters in every centimeter, we are going to multiply by 1 over 10 to find that the scale factor would be 1 to 200. So we have a scale factor of 1 to 200 here. Now this would both be millimeters, but since they're both the same, we don't need a label. So 1 to 200. So for every 1 millimeter of the drawing, it would be 200 millimeters in real life. Now let's take a look at another example like this, because I know scale factors can be a little tricky. When we have 1 inch to 10 feet, and we are trying to get it into inches for our factor, our scale factor, we know that there are 12 inches in a foot. So we are going to multiply by 1 over 12. So 1 times 1 is 1, 10 times 12 is 120. So 1 inch in the model or drawing would be 120 inches in real life. So our scale factor without units would be 1 to 120.